Hello, Samson here. So it's a thing where life gets you caught up, and then you realize that, oh, this is the end of the month and you need to do a book review. I've been keeping the faith, I've been reading books and whatnot, but then I just realized that, okay, I'm supposed to do a book review, and May was just not going to end minus having to do a book review. So I've been reading quite a couple of books, a series of them, amongst which I was reading The Power of Less by Leo Babauta. So sounds like he's an Indian guy. So the book centers on the fact that we are living in a world which is clustered with a lot of information that is coming in, a lot of things that we feel and think that we're supposed to do in order for our lives to be bettered and whatnot. But in the actual sense, I think we're living less productive lives because of the fact that we've got these clusters around us, minus having to limit ourselves to certain things and having to put our focus on different things. So diving right into what the book's principles are, there are six basic principles I think the book is constantly repeating, of which the first one is the fact that there is need for the setting of limitations in our lives if we are to live productive lives. That we're going to explain them looking at the 10 lessons I think that I got from the book, especially in this book review. So the second thing is choosing what is essential and going after the essentials. So you set limitations on things that you want to do and things that are not supposed to be done. Then you choose what the essentials are. The third thing you're looking at is simplicity. So you just focus on the fact that the things that you need and want to do are supposed to be simplified. And then the other one is focus. That is the fourth one. So the aspect of focus comes in looking at the fact that the aspects of multitasking and all that, which you're going to delve in shortly. And then the fifth one, the fifth major principle that the book emphasizes on is actually the creation of habits which are going to help you further your life. And then the last one, the last major principle the book focuses around is starting small. So amongst the six major lessons which are uh, gotten as principles, or rather as lessons from the book. Today's book review is going to kind of be a different type. Instead of me going by them chapter by chapter, I think it's essential for me to just look at what the major lessons are. So the first major takeaway from the book that I got is the fact that simplicity means identifying what is essential and then eliminating the rest. So when you get to identify what is essential, you get to eliminate everything else that is not going to be something that is going to be of use to your life. So it is practically the art of focusing only on what is essential for you to do, which is something that is going to give you your personal satisfaction in your life. And then the second lesson that I got from the book is looking at the fact that focusing on the essential produces the most results using the least amount of effort. So you can get the most results by just focusing on the least things that you need to do. So you put in the least amount of energy that you need in order to get the highest amount of results that can be there. An explanation for that one, you might want to read the book. The third lesson that I got from the book is the fact that you must set limits, because they're not definitely going to set themselves. So without limits, it's either you are going to make assumptions that everything else is important. So an emphasis on the setting of limits is you've got an acre of land, and then you want to drill, or you want to drill a borehole for water, for example, and then you're just using maybe a pick or an axe or whatever you're going to use to dig. So without limits, you're going to be digging the whole field, which is going to be less productive. But with you setting limits, you're going to give yourself maybe 100 by 100, and then just dig, and then you'll be able to find water like that. The setting of limits is what is essential to bring about better results. And then the fourth lesson that I got from the book is the fact that you focus only on one thing at a time. So there is a myth of multitasking because our brains are not wired to handle like two things at a go. If you want to do an experiment, you can close your eyes and maybe just try to think about two things at a time. you're going to realize that your brain is going to be switching between the two thoughts because it's not wired to focus on two things at a go. It can only focus on one thing at a time. So focusing on one thing at a time is the way to go. And then the lesson number 5 that I got from the book is you limit your action, your active goals, and then your projects as well, in order to break them down, maybe from about 3 or 4 like projects and goals that you really need to work on. That can be on a yearly basis, in a monthly basis, a weekly basis, and so on. And then lesson number 6 I got from the book is looking at the establishment of your most important goals. So your most important tasks, rather. He calls them the MITs. So when you establish the MITs, then you work around the MITs by the start of the day without having to work around anything else. Lesson number 7 is actually batching up similar tasks in order for you to save up your time. So when the tasks that are similar, just batch them up together and then be able to do them at once. Lesson number 8 from the book that is gotten is you need to install positive habits that are going to help you. So you start small with them and then you keep building on the habits. And then lesson number 9 is you need to minimize your active commitments. So one of the weeks, I think there was a book I was reading that is the art of saying no. You minimize your commitments by learning the art of saying no. And then the last lesson is actually just slow down, take life at ease. In everything that you do, just enjoy and trust the process. So the power of less, that is the fine art of limiting yourself to stuff that is essential for your life and for you to be able to better your life, because you're living in a clustered world full of information and full of everything else that is just going around. But in order for you to get the most out of it, it is important for you to get focused, limited, and yes. Till we meet in the next segment, I am checking out.